What's up, Chicago? We're going to talk about our final 2025 NFL mock draft. This is going to be exciting, captivating. So stick around, hold on your seats, hold on your hat, folks, because it's about to get real. It's about to go down with Chicago Sports Podcast. My boy D Nice. I'm your boy Tracks. Hang out.
Let's go. Yo. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast. And that's facts.
Let the Mock Mania mayhem begin. In a few short hours, we are going to round out the real Chicago Bear NFL draft, folks. But right now, we've got some breaking news. According to sources, the Chicago Bears shipped their number 10 pick, 2025, plus a 2026 second rounder to Jacksonville and leap up to number 5 to select the dynamic 3-down back in Ashton Jeanty. Wow, man. Can you believe that, D Nice? I mean, basically what's going on here is reports are that the trade ups, there's not very many teams that are looking to trade up. It's a very lean market. Not many teams are trying to trade up. So the GMs are kind of scratching their heads saying, what the hell? How are we going to trade up and trade down and do all this if nobody is making any calls for it? And listen, this draft, make no mistake about it, it's a good, solid, deep draft, but there's no really big time talents out there that are making people jump up. Usually it's the QBs, but there's really not a lot to go around, and there's a few questionable, day two quarterbacks that might actually be forced into day one because of the lack of talent out there. So, like I said, on day two, they're going to add size and speed at receiver, tackle, edge, and secondary with McMillan. This is our prediction. This is what we're saying could potentially happen if we go out and get Ashton Jeanty. Will Campbell, he's another guy we're interested in. Jalen Walker and Will Johnson. To round out the roster, they add versatile off-ball linebackers and Jahad Campbell and mismatched tight ends with Colston Loveland. Each pick bolsters the trenches, adds playmakers, and aligns with GM Ryan Poles' vision for a fast, aggressive team. But here's the deal. Bears Nation, Ryan Poles pulls off this blockbuster trade. Chicago sends the 2025 number 10 pick and a 2026 second rounder to Jacksonville to grab the number 5 overall slot. D Nice, what do you say about a move like that, brother?
Hey, if it's true, man, I kind of like it. I felt some type of way about moving up in this draft,
Yeah.
and just let things fall where they may. But if we don't have to give up anything in this draft to move up to number 5, that'll be awesome.
Yes.
I just didn't want to lose any draft capital,
right?
This year.
Yeah.
If we can just give up, a second round pick next year and swap 5 for 10, that'll be cool with me. And I'm an Ashton Jeanty fan, so
yeah,
I'm all for it. I just didn't want to give up too much.
No, you know what? And I don't think they're going to have to. I mean, realistically, according to insider Pat Leonard, the Bears are actively looking to trade up in the draft. And the scenario that we have laid out, while it's not confirmed, if you're going to trade up, this is probably right around where you would do it. Sounds like Jacksonville is interested in moving up or moving down and going and getting some extra draft capital. This would put us in a really good position to get Ashton Jeanty. Again, that's Pat Leonard, very reputable source, insider. The other thing is that I want to talk about while we're on the subject is what Jordan Schultz is reporting. And he's the one that is saying that you basically can trade up for a blue chipper for just 70 cents on the dollar, meaning basically that it's watered down this year as far as trading up, only because there's not a lot of people that are wanting to do this. And I feel like this is a part where Ryan Poles is saying, hey man, let's get this greenlit. Let's get going. Let's get ahead of this before other teams start to get in the mix. Why wouldn't you do your due diligence now instead of wait to the last minute and potentially lose a favorable, position to go ahead and get this done? I mean, it makes sense for both teams to go ahead and get something like this done. Again, this is all just conjecture. Nothing has been confirmed, but it does sound right now, according to sources, that the Bears really do, and not just one source, but multiple sources, that the Bears want to trade up and that Jacksonville is willing to trade down. So let's talk a little bit about these stats with Jeanty, man. They pop off, man. We've been talking about him quite a bit. 5'9", 211 pounds, 2,600 yards. This guy has more yards after contact than any back's total yardage. He's got vision driving, contact balance machine, and reliable third down receiver. What do you got to say about his third down versatility and what that would look like for our offense, D-Nice?
Hey, I think his versatility, period, will work wonders for this offense.
Yeah.
It'll make everyone's job easier, especially the offensive line, because I what I'm saying, from what I've heard, it's a lot easier to run block than it is, to pass block, because they holding a block for a certain amount of time. You only got a certain amount of seconds in the NFL to hold that block.
Yeah.
When you run blocking, you're actually moving the man at will, and and moving them straight forward just to clear the lane for a guy like Ashton Jeanty to come through there. And also, it may not be shown a whole lot, especially this previous season with Ashton Jeanty, but he's excellent, catching the ball out of the backfield.
Yeah.
So that versatility is huge, and it's much needed in today's NFL.
Yeah, and I agree with you. His third down versatility turns him into the focal point of our new look offense. If you get a guy that's get 50, 60, percent of the snaps, then is he worth a first rounder? Absolutely. Why wouldn't he be? If your offense is going through one guy 50 to 60% of the time, that's not only taking pressure off the other receivers, the tight end, the running back, the coaches, but it's taken pressure off of Caleb Johnson, a second-year sophomore who needs to get his body back into shape after getting it whipped out of shape for the first year. I mean, listen, man, we need to extend this guy. And here's the deal. Out of anybody that the Chicago Bears could have went and coveted and courted, they went out and got an offensive-minded QB. Not to say that he's not any defensive-minded, but primarily that's his DNA. That's his go-to. Why did they do that? Because they know that they need to surround Caleb with great players in order to make this work. Because if not, this sets back the franchise 4, 5, 6 possible years. You need to make sure that your quarterback thrives, that he excels, all this kind of stuff. So I think that when you're looking at in terms of your first round draft pick, it's got to be a guy that can make your offense thrive and take pressure off Caleb, not draft a backup offensive lineman. Not to say that I don't want to get a backup offensive lineman or get somebody that could eventually supersede a guy in Braxton Jones. At some point he would. And there are reports too that Will Campbell has stated that if he does get drafted by the Chicago Bears have already went on record and basically said, like, hey, if we draft you, you're legit going to start at left tackle. Okay. So make no mistake about it. If something like that happens, that obviously changes the whole conversation. But as of right now, they are looking seriously. Multiple reports. What's up, Dobbsy? What's up, Montana Shy? What's up? What do you call it? Keith Harris, aka Bishop? Listen, there are multiple reports that is saying that Ashton Jeanty is that dude, and it makes complete sense, man. I mean, like, D Nice just stated, 3-down versatility. This guy can do all kinds of stuff, and you are 100% correct on that. As far as a blocker, as far as a back, a running back, a fullback, an H-back, it is a lot easier to pass block. Now, as far as offensive lineman, that's a whole entire different discussion, right? But as far as a back goes, yes, it is much easier to hold a block for a little bit, do a little chip block, keep a little bit of extra, maybe a second, 2 second, whatever it takes to get Caleb to fire that rock off or roll out, get that ball out of his hands, throw it out of bounds, do whatever he needs to do. So yeah, dude, I agree with you 100%. Let's get a guy in here that can do all that kind of stuff. Now, here's the thing, D Nice. I know in round 2 you're very much against getting a receiver, but I look at a guy like McMillan, and the reason why I say this is because we definitely need to do our due diligence and go out and get those trenches resolved. We got to get those fixed. We got to shore them up, offense and defensive line. But man, I'll tell you what, if McMillan is available there from Arizona and round 2 at the 39th pick, listen, this guy's 6'4", 250 pounds with a 97 PFF downfield grade. He's your contested catch king and vertical threat, man. I mean, that length and ball skill gives Caleb Williams a true number 1 target in the red zone. And I'm not saying that Rome Odunze can't be that dude or DJ Moore can't, but I look at a guy like DJ Moore and he just doesn't scream.
I don't know about that. I don't know about getting that receiver in the second round. Mainly because I think we have the 2 guys that we're going to count on, and we also signed Zacchaeus in the slot. It doesn't make a lot of it really doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because when we had Keenan Allen, it seemed like Caleb was kind of overwhelmed to who he was going to get the ball to, and he was worried about making everyone happy. And we just drafted a receiver at number 9 last year, Rome Odunze, and we need to really take this year to focus on his development, take this year to really operate in the trenches. Not, because it makes no sense for us to focus on the trenches in the draft and not operate in that space, going throughout the year. I really felt like Caleb threw the ball entirely too much last season. So I think this year will be the focus with Ben Johnson will be running the football early and as often as possible. That's why I've been saying from the very beginning that getting the second running back, a stud running back. No disrespect to DeAndre Swift, but a stud running back is very important and is vital to this offense. There's been talks about adding a tight end as well. I'm not mad at the addition of a new tight end, but just not at number 10. If we can get someone like a Mason Taylor or a Fanning Jr. in the second, third round or what have you, then hey, that'll be cool too. Because those tight ends have responsibilities in the trenches as well. Adding another receiver that's going to want the ball, a guy like McMillan, he was highly touted. He was looked at as a top 10 pick before he made the statement about not watching film. Why he would come out and say that, I don't know. Some people say it's old, and some people say it's old. That's old footage, but still, no, that's nothing. As an athlete that's going to become a professional, that's nothing that you should say. I think that's totally out of bounds, and if it hurts his draft stock to the point where he falls to the second round, which would be very steep in my eyes, because he didn't get caught. He didn't get in trouble or anything. He just made a kind of a bozo statement, about his preparation going game to game. But adding and his other, I think Isaiah Bond will be a guy that's a very sneaky, will be a very sneaky acquisition in the 4th round. He's a smaller, faster guy, that can work in the slot. can also play outside because he has incredible speed and quickness. But again, let's go back to adding the addition of the tight end. Adding the tight end, we're able to work in between the hashes, and that's trench work. New England Patriots did it very well when they had Aaron Hernandez and Gronk at the same time. Their offense was super successful. Now, mind you, they had Tom Brady at quarterback, but having the addition of being able to add double tight ends, will be incredible, especially if they're effective. You good, Tracks? Yeah, as we wait on Tracks to come back. I think for me, throughout my mock drafts, if we were able to get Jeanty, I focus on adding a developmental left tackle, someone like a Ursery, and someone that an edge rusher like a Landon Jackson. But for my first round, if we're not able to get Jeanty in the first round, my thing was Kelvin out of Texas, Kelvin Banks out of Texas, and the addition of Kelvin Banks would let me know that Braxton Jones will now be a backup. Because there's no way you draft a left tackle at 10 and he has to wait. There's no way. Tracks, how we looking? Yeah, we're still getting some technical difficulties. But the interesting thing of even word that the Bears are moving up lets me know a few things. Number one, that the Bears really love Ashton Jeanty. Number two, there's a couple of other teams that love him just as much. So, the idea of the Bears moving up lets me know that they have some competition for Ashton Jeanty surfaces. You good? Can you hear me, Trax? And I think the main thing in this draft, you have to get your guy. If Ashton Jeanty, Kelvin Banks, Will Campbell, or whoever, Michael Williams, whoever the guy that the Bears feel like fits, they have to do what they have to do to get him. If that means I'm not a fan of the trading up, but if that's what's necessary to do to get their guy, then so be it. We have to trust these guys. However it rolls out. How you good? You good, Trax?
I think so. I can't tell you what the internet wants to do to me right now, but or what happened with the show after I left. Where are we at right now, brother? Where are we at in the show, D-Nice?
Well, I was just really speaking back on the fact that the Bears, where there's smoke, there's fire when it comes down to the rumor that the Bears want to move up to grab Ashton Jeanty.
Yeah.
And essentially what I was saying is that if the rumor's true,
yeah,
because there's some truth in every rumor. Like let's not be in denial of that. But if the rumor's true, number one, the Bears really have a thing for Ashton Jeanty, and number two, there's some other teams that have just a bigger thing for Ashton Jeanty as the Bears. And my thing is this: if the Bears are really, if Ashton Jeanty is really the guy the Bears want, they have to do what they have to do to get him. I'm not a real fan of trading up or giving away extra draft capital in this year's draft to get him.
Yeah.
But like the deal that was proposed early on when you started the show, if we can get away with that, then that'll be excellent.
Second rounder next year, basically, is what they're looking at, and they can find ways to go ahead and get that second rounder back next year. And you're still going to have, you're still going to have all 7 picks.
Yeah, we still have room to boogie, man.
Second round picks. You have your first round pick. You got all your picks there. So, and like I said, they're looking at on the dollar, it's 70 cents. it's a lot cheaper than it was, basically is what they're saying, what the reports are, and that there's not a lot of people that are wanting to move up in this draft. So if you got a guy that gives you conviction, a guy that's going to be there for a decade of dominance at the running back position, then you go out and get him. I think that was talked about quite a few times on our show, how they went out and got Jamar Gibbs, and you saw the proof's in the pudding, man. When he went out and got a guy he was convicted in and he really liked that guy, you saw where it went with his offense. It looked really good. It was very helpful. But moving on from Jeanty, man, I just want to give a special shout out to everyone in the chat. We got some new guys in the chat. Steve Lickens, please hit that like and subscribe button. We appreciate your view. Muck in general, appreciate your guys' view. All of our returned guests, we really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for everything. We couldn't do this out without you guys. D-Nice, thank you for holding it down while I was gone. Let's talk about that second rounder afterwards, guys. Like I said, McMillan, he's something that's very exciting to me. However, if you say, okay, Tracks, I see where you're going with this. Yeah, we could use him. But where would we be at 41 since we have 2 second-round picks? And what are you proposing to me in the third round? If I lay it all out there and I give you what potentially could happen, then you say, okay, Tracks, I could cook with that. So what I'm proposing to you, D-Nice, is that we go out and get Will Campbell at pick 41 in round 2. There are reports that he could possibly fall back. I think it's highly unlikely. I think that they're
highly unlikely,
very highly unlikely, extremely unlikely. I don't know where or who's coming up with this, but there are guys like Cornerly. There's plenty of guys. The kid out of North Dakota State, Gray. He basically can play every position, and I think that would be a guy that I would be okay with picking at 41 if we're going to get a guy like McMillan. Now you go offense. You get 3 first rounds of offense or first 3 picks of offense. You go out and get your guy in Jeanty. You go out and get McMillan. You go out and get a guy, that's Will Campbell-esque. But talking about Will Campbell, guys, I mean, I wouldn't even mind moving up with him also if push came to shove, and it doesn't require a whole lot. You look at Campbell, 6'6", 319, 33-inch arms, fluid feet, SEC's Jacobs Blocking Trophy Award, plugs in day one, blindside protector, man. His balance, his play strength neutralizes elite pass rushers, man. Now you go and you go get a guy like a Jalen Walker-esque in the third round. Now, I'm not saying that these guys are going to be available in these rounds. Don't get it twisted. I'm talking about players that are like this. Big body, physical, fast guys. This is what the Chicago Bears like. I think it only makes sense to go try to find guys like this. Walker at 6'1", 243, 32-inch arms. He terrorizes tackles. You know this. Big Georgia boy. Explosive first step, quickness, versatility, off of edge rushers and off-ball linebackers. Pair him with Montez Sweat. This front will wreck protection schemes, D-Nice. Wouldn't you agree, brother?
I would agree, but my only question with Jalen Walker is how good of a fit is he? Because regardless of how much of a physical specimen he is and how athletic he shows on tape, if he doesn't fit what we're trying to do, it's just not going to work right.
Right. So we'll try to find that guy in the mock draft later on here in a little bit. I agree with you. We talked about that at Exhaustium last night when we had on Jacob Infante and our guy Annie up. We talked about the fit, the scheme, all of that. We beat it up. We know that's what we got to go get. But we did agree that when we were looking at lower size linebackers, that wasn't a fit. I mean, we're basically arguing against ourselves because we were looking at a guy that was 6 foot 6'1", and you left. You had to leave. Maybe it was because of what we talked about earlier. But basically what happened was at that point, he went out and got that guy anyways. He felt good about it. And they said, if you got conviction with a guy, no matter what their size is, you go get that guy. And then so we went ahead and got that guy without you. Cause after a while we're like, I don't think he's coming back. So I just want to let you know that we still ended up out and getting our A pluses, man. We did good.
Look, man, if you got conviction, if you have conviction, that means you have a plan.
Yeah.
So, I'm not mad at that at all.
Yeah. I just like, and here's the thing too. Ben Johnson said this, and I'm sure Dennis Allen says this. You don't necessarily have to rock with what you had with the Saints. You don't necessarily have to rock with what you had with the Lions. You made it rock there because you were there. Mm-hmm. Where were they at before there was there? And what did they do at those other places? He might not have always been the type of fit that he was with the Saints. He might not always been the fit that he was, that Ben Johnson was with the Lions. He might have evolved into what he had on the staff and built around that. And if that is the case, then they will make it work with what they're going to work with. I do feel like in some ways, D Nice, we do play similar type, because we're in the NFC North,
Yeah.
Strong, tough defense, like to run the ball. Obviously we have, better things, better city and all that kind of stuff, but better brats, better pizza, but dude, I want to talk about round 5 now. Pick 148. I like a guy, bro. I know Will Johnson's not going to be there. Okay. Right. You guys are going to say, oh, Tracks are saying get Will Johnson. No, I want a guy like Will Johnson. And we're going to look into those type of guys because in round 5, you're not going to get a Will Johnson, but we need a guy like him. I feel like you don't get those guys there, but you can get guys that are like them in those rounds. For us, it makes sense, as far as the measurables go, man. And this is what I like about him, bro. 6'2", nearly 200 pounds, runs a 4.56 40-yard dash, lockdown instincts, makes him a press man nightmare, man. He can handle the boundary threats and deliver jam and go coverage, which, we desperately need when we're playing, basically like quarters, dime, and all that, press, all that good stuff. And you got him out there on that 4-3. He's got that integrity in the zone where he's got to lock it down, man. So that's the kind of guy I'm looking at. And I still think we need to double down in the 7th round and go after a guy, a linebacker. And I go back to the big, tall, fast guys, not big, but just I'm saying big as in tall and got some muscle on him, like a Jihad Campbell type from Alabama. Those are the guys that I look at, in terms of that. I don't know. Where do you see us, or where would you like to pick in those rounds? Is a defensive back in the 5th somebody that you're looking at in round 7? Before we start our final mock draft, I'd like to try to get a little bit, close to you, because what I like about Campbell is he moves like a safety. He's smooth, athletic, sideline to sideline, 6'3", 225. He's good at blitz packages and versatility. I think that's a guy that you could also shapeshift into safety if you need to play multiple positions. Dennis Allen likes to do that. And then going back up to our 5th round pick in a guy that's like Will Johnson, same type of thing, man. I really think as far as like the defensive back goes, you could see Campbell playing linebacker edge type thing. And then you could see Johnson playing, defensive back type safety. You know what I'm trying to say to you?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is that whatever guy we choose in this draft, that they understand that man coverage is going to be a must in this system.
Yeah.
He has to be a cover corner first. He has to be a man-to-man corner first. And then, we're also having the versatility of being effective in zone. Now, there's very few corners that can be great in both.
Right.
But we want to make sure the guy we pick is a guy that's, very much in tune with man-to-man coverage.
Yes, I believe that. Okay. But here's the deal. I got to ask you this. Are you kind of like, do you see, what I'm getting at? I'm looking at a guy like Tillman. Not like a Kelvin, what was that guy with Kelvin Hayden? A smaller, no, we didn't have Kelvin Hayden. Who did we have?
Hayden. We had
from the Colts. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He was a shorter guy. He did a good job. He did a lot better job.
Jennings.
Yes, Jennings. Thank you so much, man. Great job. Great job. Shout out to you. And then also we had a DJ Moore at defensive back. Same year Johnny Knox was a rookie. He did a good job. But for me, I like those big body guys that can lock it down, man, because all across the NFC North, you look at guys that are like a Julio Jones type receiver. And if you got a guy that can have good flexibility, good elasticity, good speed, that can do things that a small defensive back can, but he's tall and he can get after the jump ball and he can do lockdown. I mean, dude, he's doing it all, bro. That's what we need. We need a guy.
Yes, indeed.
That's how I feel. That's my fault. That's my feel. Anyways, what's up, Trapakeepa? Yeah, Trapakeepa, dude, you cannot say this enough. Nobody knows nothing. We don't know nothing. It's all conjecture. And we've said this time and time again and let off our show. Nobody knows nothing. For the record, I want to put on me, especially Trax knows nothing. Okay. We're just fans having a good time, Trapakeepa. So
yeah. Now, Trax, I have a DB for you, man.
Yep.
A guy named Zah Frazier out of University of Texas, San Antonio.
Okay. What round is he at, brother?
He's probably gonna be between 4 and 6. You know, it just depends on how the draft falls. But Zah Frazier, 6'2", like 186, 190 pounds.
Okay. I could work with that.
Yeah, he's very good in man-to-man. He has a very high tackle rate.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So these are things that's gonna be necessary in playing this Dennis Allen defense.
Yes.
Solid guy, very good speed, physical guy. At 6'2", I think that's kind of the size that you're looking for, you know, because you know, on a week-to-week basis, every team seems like they have a guy that's 6'4", 6'5" that runs anywhere between a 4.3 and a 4.3, 4.4 that can go up there and get the ball. You need someone that can come up there and make plays on those type of balls.
Right
now, I know we're in agreement when I say this that we do love the corners that we have.
Oh yeah.
But in this league, because it's a passing league, you can never have enough.
Never.
But I think it's imperative that you have a good mixture. You have your bigger guys, and you also have those guys that can get it done in the nickel. You know, it's very imperative that happens because these offenses are so advanced nowadays that they can beat you in any spots on the field.
Oh yeah.
And then you have these teams that run wide tight ends like a Travis Kelce, you know, and you need that bigger corner that can take that physicality, you know, and run hip to hip with the guys like that.
Yeah. No, I agree with you wholeheartedly. You got to have a guy that can stretch the field, that can play everywhere and do everything. That's important, man. I mean, you look at a guy like Kenneth Grant, plays defensive line, multiple positions on the line. The guy is ridiculous. He's 6'3", 6'4", you know, went to Maryville High School from Gary. His whole family, including his freaking great-grandparents, they're all diehard Bears fans, dude. He wants to come here. But this guy's like 340 pounds and he runs a 4.8, bro. A 4.8. That should be illegal. That is insane. I mean, if he saves a couple biscuits every Sunday, he could be like 320. He might be running, you know, 4.7, high 4.6s at his defensive line. That's crazy. And you watch a sideline to sideline and you watch him go, you know, get, you know, track guys down. He's just not like hand over his, you know, hips like, I'm wore out, guys. I did my big guy job for the day. You guys go get him next level. He is freaking chasing guys down, man. He's a good tracker, man. Reminds me of a bird dog, but crazy, man. Big bird dog too. But like I said, here's a guy that I'm interested in late, or a type of a guy, and they're hard to find. So I'm going to use a little bit of your abilities to find this guy when we're tracking in the 7th round. But I like a big body tight end, 6'6", you know, type, 250 at least, 10-inch hands. And I'm talking about a guy in Loveland. I like Loveland type tight end, if that makes any sense. A guy that's a mismatch nightmare, reliable hands, yard after catch ability, inline blocking for 2 tight end sets, which you know that's got to be paramount for Ben Johnson's type of, you know, the way he operates and coaches and everything. So imagine his seam route explosion in our offense, man. I tell you what, why don't we fire up that mock draft simulator while I'm doing that? You could talk to the folks in the chat and everything and see what they're talking about today and all that good stuff. And Yeah, let me get this started for you, brother. Did you like the one that we had last night that gave us the grades, or do you like the one that gives us a little bit more detail on their size and height and abilities and all that kind of stuff? What do you prefer?
Let's go with the one that gives the grades.
You like the grades?
Let's see how I stack up. I mean, how we stack up versus the rest of the world.
I like that. That makes sense. Okay, let's do that. It's crazy how you can go back and do a draft from 2019 all the way up to 2026. No, 2016 you can go back. And do 1 round all the way up to 7 round, post draft, pre draft. I mean, bro, fast, normal, slow, all this stuff, man. Crazy how technology works nowadays, brother.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and enter the draft room. We'll get it going. I'm gonna share this screen. Give me 1 second, bro. Give me 1 second. I'm almost there with you. Here we go. Shared. Boom. For all those that are interested, this is the NFL mock draft database simulator. That's the one that we're using today. We're gonna go ahead and start this off. Man. I tell you what, really quickly, if we did not have Caleb Williams, I would so badly want Cameron Ward, dude. So badly want Cameron Ward. This guy is nice, man. This guy is nice.
He is. But if we didn't have Caleb, man, I think we'll be in trouble.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Because now, as a GM looking forward, I think we did a good job in knowing that to stay away from this draft, to be honest with you. Because after Cameron, it drops off, bro. It drops.
Yeah, I would think that if we didn't have Caleb, we'd probably just add a bridge guy.
Yeah.
And wait on and try to get into the Arch sweepstakes, man.
I like that. What's up, Aunt Mass? What's up, Eli Page? Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Y'all know what to do. We appreciate your view. Ravi, come up. Northsider, Bear Cub. Man,
go for it, Eli.
That's a very, very interesting name, man. I like that. 32 in the building. I love this. This is great. Here we go. Nothing like last night though with Jacob and Ponte. That was bananas. I almost needed my boy D Nice to give me mouth to mouth, bro. I'm gonna pass out of my chair, bro. I almost needed some freaking. Well, they don't do that anymore. They just do the paddles, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's no fly zone anymore. All right, here we go, bro. Here we go. Let's see here. Okay. Here's what's interesting. Ashton Jeanty still available, and so is Will Campbell. And I didn't even trade up for this. So this kind of ruins the whole thing that we were going to do. Let's have fun with it, man. Let's have fun with it, right? I mean,
why not?
A lot of people were saying that they did not want us to trade up, or they didn't want the Bears to trade up. They didn't really say, that they didn't want us to trade up. We could have traded up, but we didn't. So now we got Will Campbell, Ashton Jeanty, and Armand Membu available. Jalen Walker. I like these options, bro. I really like these options.
Stay away from Membu, FYI.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I thought he was your dude. No.
Calvin Banks is a guy for me at tackle. Membu could be better, for someone else, I guess. But for us, he's a right tackle, or he plays inside. Either one. He's not a left tackle. There's no sense of drafting him early like this and then trying to make him something he's not. That'll be kind of hustling backwards, if you ask me.
Right. So now we're up here with Jeanty available. We're not trading back or nothing, and we also have Will Campbell. What say you, bro?
You know where I'm going. Ashton.
I'm going Ashton too. Ashton it is. He's in the building, bro. He's in the building.
Yes, indeed.
Like we said, folks, we didn't have to trade back. And that's the whole thing. I wonder where their feelings are at with this, man. I mean, did your feelings get hurt because we didn't have to trade back and we got Jeanty and he fell to us? or are your feelings hurt because you're just, a Jeanty hater and you don't really like the guy, because the small college type stuff, whatever. I have no idea where you're at with it, folks, but he is a Chicago Bear right now. Look at this haul, man. Holy cow. I wish this was a dynasty draft. I would totally jump on it. Baltimore Ravens, man. They really want this pick here.
What's that?
The second pick at 39. They're really into it.
What they offering?
The 4. They're offering us a 4, a 6, a 6, and then a second rounder for next year, a third rounder for next year, and a fifth rounder for next year. My God.
No.
Yeah, that is insane, bro. That is insane. Could you imagine doing that as a GM? I'd say you're fired, That's a lot, bro. They must be really looking at somebody hard.
Yeah.
So here's where we're at, man. We've got let's go back to all. Right at the top, from what I gather here, Gray Zabel's at the top of the list. Then Jackson Dart, Luther Bergeron is available there. Trey Amos, Donovan Jackson, Jalen Milrose, Mason Taylor, tight end. What say you? What are you interested in right here, man?
Scroll down a little bit. Let's see what they got highlighted down there.
Okay.
Mason, what was that?
Arante Ursi and Mason Taylor. Those are the two suggestions. Darius Alexander later on, and Landon Jackson, and then JT. But see, like I said, we got 41. So the only thing right now is probably want to get these guys a little bit lower at 41, because at 39 we could get bumped by whoever picks at 40, right? So
right.
I kind of like Gray Zabel here. We haven't picked an offensive lineman yet. By the way, Ashton Jeanty gave us an A+ for that pick there at 10, guys. So
the thing about Zabel though, he's an interior lineman. He's not a tackle in the NFL.
But he's played every position. He's played center, guard, and tackle. So in a need, when things are, when you're in a crunch and you need a guy, he could move around. And to me, that spells. But I agree, because when
Cody Whitehair did the same thing at Kansas State
at the Senior Bowl. All the guys that were looking, all the guys that were there, all the scouts, all the powers that be, we're talking to Jim Miller and Pat Kerwin, and here's the deal. They're saying right now that he is a center in the NFL. And I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at if they pick him at guard. I'm not mad at that either. But I agree with what you're tracking on, bro. And listen,
since I've learned of him, I get a lot of Cody Whitehair vibes from him.
Okay. And I'm not mad at Cody. I think maybe if Cody was smarter and he was on a better team and had a better offensive line coach, he would have played better. I don't hate Cody. I thought he played pretty good for a short stint, but but I think he could have been better, is all I'm saying. If you surround yourself with like-minded people like you, I'm surrounding myself with people like you, right? Iron sharpens iron. If I just dummy down because I want to be the smartest guy in the room, we're not doing nothing. And I really feel like that's what happened with guys like Cody Whitehair. I'm not making him an excuse for him. I just feel like with the coaches right now in the building, they're giving us the best availability to make our whole entire team better, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely. I know now in my mock, at this 39, this 39, 40, 41 range, I looked at guys like, of course I picked Jeanty number one. But I looked at guys, like a Walter Nolan, defensive tackle out of Ole Miss.
Yeah.
I also looked at guys like Ursery.
Okay.
And a guy like Landon Jackson. Like those were the three guys that I had my eye on, if I was to choose Jeanty at 10.
Yeah.
Now, of course it changes if I had to pick a guy like Kelvin Banks at 10, but
right.
Those are the two names specifically that I looked at when I was doing my mocks.
Right. Okay.
But a guy like Zabel, like I said, he's an interior line, and I think we'll be doing a huge disservice if we get, a center at 10. I
No,
don't think that's smart.
You mean at 39? I know what you mean.
Right, at 39, yeah. I'm sorry.
So,
Because we do have a backup center that everyone forgot about.
The fumbler?
No, Ricky Stromberg.
Oh yeah, Stromberg. So are you saying you don't want to get Gray? Are you saying you don't want to?
I wouldn't.
Okay.
I just think it's time to get that tackle, that we can develop in
Defensive
practice
tackle?
last year.
Defensive tackle?
No, left tackle.
Oh, left tackle.
And that's a guy like Ursary.
Okay, well, Ursary will be available at 40. Well, is there anybody above him that you like? Is Donovan Jackson?
Donovan Jackson. Listen, Donovan Jackson has versatility too. He can play tackle or guard. But I think he was best as a guard. But that was another guy that I liked, before we went crazy in free agency. What else you see?
Well, I see Luther Burden, Jackson Dart, which we don't need, Trey Amos, cornerback, Mississippi, Trevon Henderson, Mason Taylor, Aaron Ursary, Carson Schwinger, Jaden Higgins, Benjamin Morrison, and Azari Thomas, Darius Alexander, defensive line from Toledo, and Landon Jackson at 41, Xavier Watts at 52. So, yeah, we got a lot there. We got a lot to pick from. But we just got to pick one at 39.
Yeah, now I know you mentioned the wide receiver out of Arizona.
Yeah.
If he was to fall to the second round, but that Luther Burden kid he's special. Special.
I'm not mad at him, but since we already picked a weapon at 10, I would say we get an offensive lineman, and if Burden is available at 41, then we take a look at him. Because I either want to get an offensive lineman or defensive lineman here.
I think we can do the trench work right here. That's fine.
Yeah.
Like I said, my pick would be Ursary.
Okay. All right, let's go ahead and get.
I wouldn't be mad at Donovan Jackson either.
You know what? I would feel better at Donovan Jackson, to be honest. I really would. And here's why. I just like the whole Ohio State thing, man. I like the Ohio State thing. I like the guy's size and everything for sure. So that's where we're at right now is we're narrowing it down to Donovan Jackson and Ursary. So of those two, who do you think would have the biggest impact right away?
I'll say Ursary.
Okay, then let's pick Ursary. You got conviction, bro. We're going with it. And that's a B for that pick. But that's all right. That's okay. Let's see here. 4 trade offers, 2nd and 4 and 5th from the Seahawks for our 241. I'm not really mad at that because we're only dropping 9. We're still getting the second round, and we're only going from 241 to 250. So we'll put a pin in that one. I don't like this rated one, 4, 5, and then 2 picks from next year. 3, 4, 7, and then next year's 5th. I'm not down with that. And I don't really like. So yeah, I think we just pick our guy. I think we've got conviction here. We go pick our guy. In the sense that Luther Burden is still available, man. I mean, he's still available, Here's the deal though. I'm kind of look at this Darius Alexander. I mean, I cannot really fault him for spelling his name wrong, but he's missing a vowel, but he seems like a pretty decent dude. I've seen his name pop up a ton of different places.
He's a heck of a player.
Yeah, he's a heck of a player.
I mean, we can go Alexander, we can go D tackle or DN. It's up to you. I'll let you pick.
I also like edge. I'm not gonna lie, and because remember last time when we waited for edge and we were kind of like bummed out. Landon Jackson's still available, and so is JT. So that's my concern right now, man. I want to get one of those 3 guys.
Hey, it's Landon for me.
It's Landon for me also. Here we go. We got Landon in the building. So right now we got an offensive lineman in Ursary. We got Landon Jackson. And then that was an A, by the way. And then Ashton Jeanty, he's, as of right now, he's our only A+ that we got. So pretty smart on that one. Here we go. Here comes our pick. Oh my God. The Dolphins want to give us the kitchen sink for this pick. This is ridiculous, man. There is no way that guy gets fired immediately after this trade is complete. So 372 for the Broncos, 385 and 4,122. Not mad at that one. 3-6 in next year's fourth, 3-3, and then 2 next year's. I'm not really excited about any of those. I think if we're going to trade, we trade back into the later rounds. I really think these 4 picks are crucial right now. So with that being said, brother, I think we need to go out and get a defensive lineman. How do you feel about this dude in Darius Alexander? Would you rather have him in the building, or would you be looking at a guy like a tight end from Miami and Elijah Arroyo?
Actually, in this spot right here, I've had my eye on the safety position.
Safety?
Yeah.
Okay. I also, hey, for what it's worth, I do like Marcus Membo at 66. I'm not mad at that one. But if he falls to 72, that's an even better pickup, right? So let's go to safety, because I agree with you. You got here you got Kevin Winston Jr., and then it drops all the way down to Billy Bowman and Sanker and Latham Ransom from Ohio State. And Malachi Moore.
Nah. Let's go back to go back to the R. Let's see who they had the highest ranked on the R.
I'm not mad at Darius Alexander or Jonas Savai. I wouldn't, especially interior offensive lineman. I would like to get a big old Samoan dude there. That'd be cool. You know,
he or Alexander's fine with me.
Me too. I mean, what's your more positional need right now? Is it offensive line or defensive line? Do you think we need to go interior defensive line in Alexander, or interior offensive line in Savani?
It's still some heavy names as far as the offensive line is concerned.
Yeah.
Especially on the interior part.
Yeah.
Let's go with Darius Alexander, man.
All right, let's do it. Now, before we pull the trigger, let's go look and see who's available beyond that.
Yeah, look at the tight ends.
Oh my God, you dropped from 50 down to 96 defensive line. To me, that says you get defensive line now, because you're dropping 46 spots. But yeah, let's look at the tight ends. Like I said earlier, you got Elijah Arroyo at 63. Harold Fannin is at 76, but I think he dropped into the freaking 80s, if I'm not mistaken, our last draft we had with him. Then Terrence Ferguson from Oregon and Gunnar Helm at Texas. I think we're good at tight ends. I want to go out with your first.
Let's go with Alexander, man.
Darius Alexander. Okay, done deal. A+. Good job, bud. Those 2 A+ has brought our B up to an A average. Good job. All right, man. How's everybody doing? How's our chat doing out there? CJ West is available. Loving the pick so far. Trapakeepa says, is Ransom available? I wouldn't be mad at safety right now. I would not be mad
at all. Let's look. Let's take a look, man.
Matter of fact, everybody in the chat, if you guys want us to do a more in-depth mock draft after this, D Nice and I can run it back. I got to run inside real quick and take care of some business. But as soon as I'm done, I could be right back and we could run it back. If you guys want to do something more where we kind of lean on you a little bit more instead of him and we're taking some of your thoughts, but not all of them. We're doing a lot. We're kind of heavy-handed on this one, to be honest. We're not really. Yeah, we could do better, listeners. 5-1-4-8 for 5-1-5-4 next year's. 5 and a 7.
The Dolphins willing and dealing, ain't they?
They are. They really want to do something. They are wheeling and dealing, brother. I think we could turn that 2026 round 6 into something else. And I wouldn't be mad at trading back at this spot, especially if they're going to give us 2 more. And we're only going 2 spots. Listen, D Nice, we're going back. Listen, we're going back from 5-1-4-8 to 5-1-5-0. We're only falling back 2 spots, and they're giving us a 7th rounder. And I could ask for another pick too if you'd like.
Yeah.
Or are we just good picking it now?
Let's see what we got now. Let's see what we facing first.
I like that. That's good. Let's see what's in front of us. Okay. Well, we were talking about safety, right? Potential safety.
Yeah.
Craig Woodson, is he related to Charles? Because if he is, I'll pick him up right now.
Nah, I don't think there's a relation, but he's a very good player too.
Bro, those guys are like gone. All those safeties we spoke of earlier, they're donezo, bro. So if you want a safety, you got to go get them right back then. Let's talk about Barrett Carter's still available from Clemson, and Jeffrey Bassa is available from Oregon, and Cody Simmons from Ohio State, and Kobe King from Penn State. This might be a time where we might want to reflect and look at a linebacker, bro.
Kobe King is a very good player.
Yeah,
I think he's going to be available later on though.
They're suggesting at this pick is Barrett Carter, but we could look at another position if you.
I think this is where we go get some more weaponry. Let's see what they have at wide receiver.
Wide receiver Tez Johnson from Oregon, lighter dude, but I've heard a lot of good stuff about him.
Is Isaiah Bond there?
No, you got Pat Bryant from Illinois and Nick Nash from San Jose State, Keandre Lambert Smith. Hoping they come up with a nickname for him. That's very expensive lettering.
What about interior O-line guard?
Interior offensive line guard. Miles Frazier. Oh, let's get Miles Frazier, dude.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be mad at you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be mad at you. Good with that, bro? At 148, dude? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do it. A, bro. We got an A. Man, I feel smart all of a sudden. It's a little warm, dude. I moved all my stuff down to the basement, and I got to move some stuff around. But yeah, for sure. So what do you call it? I'm off the rest of the week. I got a lot of business to take care of. And number one is this draft. Let's see here. Boy, this is moving.
What number are we right now?
233, 7th round. And brother, I tell you right now, this is our last pick, right? Yeah, this is our last pick. So where are you at with this, bro? What do you want? What do you want us to?
Who are those guys highlighted?
Defensive lineman, safety, Sebastian Castro from Iowa. I'm not mad at anybody from Iowa, bro. It's worth a look even if you don't know a guy. Like defense is like crucial there. You got to be good at defense to play there. So
for sure.
I see some tight ends that you might be interested in if you want to take a look at those. I do want to tell you something. This is a guy that I think you might be high on, and what do you call it? Yesterday, he man, I tell you what, Infante was big on him.
You see Lumpkin there?
Lumpkin is there. Even though he said he's 5'10", he goes, listen, if he was 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", he'd be going in the first round, bro.
Yes, indeed. I couldn't agree more.
And then there's Joshua Gray from Oregon State. He liked him also. And Joshua Gray is ranked higher than him, slightly higher in 187 to 195. So, and that's actually a guy in, Annie Up was really high on was Joshua Gray. And then he actually had his back. Jacob Infante had his back on that.
Okay.
Hey, by the way, we just struck a deal today with Infante where he's going to be working with us a little bit more, not full time, but we've got a little bit more in depth with him, and that's huge, man. That is so huge for us, man. So yeah, where you at with this, man? I feel the vibe is Willie Lampkin over Gray right now.
I personally love Willie Lampkin's spirit. I love the way he played the game. He's nasty, man. He's a baller.
Okay. All right, let's do it. That's a wrap. Oh, we got one available at 244, bro. Oh my gosh. Let's go look at tight end and see what's going on there. Jackson Hawes from Georgia Tech and Jalen Conyers from Texas Tech, who the Bears actually gave a tryout for.
Yeah, Conyers is athletic, man.
What's that?
Conyers is athletic. He's an athletic guy.
Let's go
Whoa, Tracks got knocked out again. But what do you guys think about that draft, man? You know, we're hours away. We're hours away from the draft. You know, I'm pretty sure everybody's knocking out their last day of mock drafts. You know, I'm excited to see who the Bears are going to, who's going to become a new Chicago Bear, or how many people are going to become new Chicago Bears today. You know what I mean? Ryan Poe said, "Get ready for a wild ride." So I think that's what we need to do. Um, I'm pretty sure everyone has their picks of the litter. This thing is subjective until things happen. What's that? Yeah, this thing is subjective until things start to happen. Yeah, I agree with you. Jeanty may not fall that far, but hey, a guy can dream, can he? A guy can.
Dream. A guy can definitely dream, brother. A guy can definitely dream.
But yeah, we love the input from you guys in the chat. You
Can you
know,
hear me still? Can you hear me?
yeah, I hear you. I hear
Okay.
you. We want to try to make this thing. We want to try to make this thing. Positive as possible. You know, we don't need the negativity. We all Bears fans. We want the same thing for this team. So there's no need for the name calling or the low cutting and nothing like that. It's not necessary. And man, I totally agree. It's kind of comical how these people take these mock drafts so personally.
What happened? Are they giving us a hard time for our selections?
No, not necessarily, man. I mean, I've seen a few things I didn't like, but everybody's entitled.
Yeah.
Shout out to Trapper Keeper.
So the hold on one second. Jacob's asking me a question really quick here. He's trying to help us out. Give me a second. Go ahead and
Definitely
talk
all
to
the
the
time.
folks.
Man.
Go ahead and talk to the folks. Go ahead and talk to the folks really quickly about what we're doing here.
I mean, I'm pretty sure this day and age, everybody has a cell phone and has a computer. You can come up with any mock draft you want to,
Yeah.
and you can go present it to the world as often as you like. You know,
Mhm.
there's no room for the BS. You know, when we're just having fun as Bears fans. You know, it's just all wishful thinking until things happen.
Yeah.
Until 8 o'clock tonight or whenever we pick.
Yeah, this is not real. This isn't the real world, folks. This is make believe. We're having fun with each other. Um, you know, okay. I don't know what's going on, but I back up what you're saying for sure.
Oh yeah.
Let's see here. I don't think that's the majority speaking on that.
No, it's not. It's not. But listen, man, it's a part of it, man. When you talk in sports, or especially for the guys that do this for a living,
Yeah.
and even the athletes that play it,
Mhm.
everybody gets criticism. It's kind of a part of it.
Yeah.
But let's not get too personal.
Uh-huh.
You know, there definitely has to be a line drawn there, because we're all grown people. Most of us are grown people with families and kids and stuff like that. No need
Yeah.
for the disrespect.
Yeah. Well, we got moderators in there if it gets to be too crazy, they know what to do. So, let's see here. I'm trying to figure out. Oh, there it is. Start up here at the top. They moved it. All right. So, before we start it up, I will be right back, brother. I will be right back, okay?
All right, for sure.
Give me one
And
second.
that we need y'all involvement in this one. So get your thoughts together, and
Yep.
we're gonna ask you guys what direction you think we should go in this particular mock draft. Again, this is all about fun, and we're gonna listen. We're gonna add in our input as well, but we do this for you guys. So get your thoughts together while Tracks is away, and figure out what guy you want us to select at 10. It's people saying that there's very few blue chip guys in this draft. You know, that's subjective as well, because they going by numbers and all that and everything like that. But, let's talk about the play on the field. Because if we've been watching this thing long enough, we've all seen guys run a 4.2, bench press however many pounds, shuttle is great, vertical jump is fantastic, but when they get on the grass, they can't make the play. So, we want to test you guys' knowledge of guys that you've seen on the grass. Not necessarily forget all the 40 times and all that stuff that they do at the Underwear Olympics, as it's been called, and that's a combine for the people that don't know. Let's forget all that. You know what I'm saying? Let's base this thing on what we see, how we see guys play on the grass. That's my whole thing when it comes down to it. The combine is cool and it's necessary for some guys. Some guys, get a boost off the combine. And I think more than anything, that's what it's for. It's for the guys that everybody don't get to see. It's for the guys that want to come out and make a name for itself. The unknown guys, the smaller school guys, or the guys that's been playing behind other guys that, the regular casual fan doesn't get to see. So, but at this top 10 pick, we want a bona fide stud, regardless of position. I'm pretty sure we all have our personal favorites, but we want a guy that can come in and make an impact right away. Not a guy that has to sit and wait, or a guy that we have to be concerned with because he has an injury history or things of that nature. We have enough of that over the years, and I do understand people. I do understand people's calling for more trench work. I get it. I get it. I get it. But at the end of the day, we have to have impact guys, outside of the trenches as well, because there are going to be other drafts. And hopefully we're not picking in the top 10 again next year. If things go right, we should be picking in the 20s somewhere. If things really go perfect, we'll be picking, 31, 32. But until then, we have to take advantage of this spot. Because once these guys get to the NFL, everyone can play. But when it comes down to, it's going to come down to development and coaching at the end of the day. Development, the coaches can tell players how to work and what they think that can make them special. All in all, I think the overall development is on the player himself to get in the film room, get in the weight room, get out there on the track, get out there on the grass and do the work on his own. It's cool. It'll be great if he can work with direction. I think that's the responsibility of the coach and staff, and his fellow teammates. He has to know a direction. He has to have a direction. But overall in all, the development is on the player, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, I agree. It all goes back to the adage: you can lead a horse to water.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, these guys are drafted to implement change. And I think where some coaches go wrong, they draft a guy and try to make a different kind of person out of him once he gets in the building. You have to draft that guy for what he is. And then as he goes along in his career, you help him develop, become more. But whatever you see on tape that attracts you, you cannot bring that guy in here and try to change him from being what he's shown you, probably since high school. I think that's where some coaches go wrong, regardless of position, not just quarterback, not just defensive back, not just O lineman, not just D lineman. Just all positions. A guy's put together a body of work to present to you, and you're gonna draft him and scrap all that stuff he showed you to try to make him something different. I've never understood that.
Right, exactly. To change somebody into something they're not.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like trying to change an alley cat into a mountain lion. It's impossible. You can't do it.
Right. All right, so let's fire this up. Just finishing the things up with Jacob. We're good to go. Let's go ahead and get into this. Are we still sharing the screen? Appears that way. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Okay.
see it.
All right, cool. That'll work. That'll work. So now let's get back into here. Fire it up. Here we go, chat. Here we go.
What's that? Tennessee off the bat.
All next year, though.
Yeah,
They want our 10 for what do you call it? Next year's first and second.
they can throw Simmons in that deal. We might be cooking with grass.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, so right here we've got Jeanty, Armin Membu, and Jalen Walker. I'll say this. I wouldn't mind actually exploring a trade back in this situation. Now that you know Ashton Jeanty, Armin Membu, Jalen Walker, and Shador are all available in the top 10, and you're falling at 11. Let's see if somebody like San Fran or Dallas wants to trade, or even the Colts at 14, you know?
Yeah, the Colts at 14, the Falcons, or even Arizona.
Okay, let's do a trade.
Arizona, Cincinnati.
Yep. Let's start off with San Fran because that's only one click back, you know. Let's go 111, and let's see. They got 2 third rounders. Let's try to go for their first third rounder. Ooh. It says too much, not enough. What if we go that way? Oh, sorry. I clicked both of these. Now all of a sudden I can't get it off.
Yeah, you got to exit out of it.
Oh, come on. That's ridiculous. I don't like this at all one bit. I don't like this part here. I might have to tell Jacob about that one. I need to get that fixed. What is happening? Oh, here we go. Oh, so now I can get mine off, but I can't get theirs off? How's that work? And they're still there. I must be doing something wrong, brother.
Yeah, you might just switch the teams.
Switch teams up. Switch teams up. All right, trade offer. Let's go. Chicago's first rounder. And what did we say earlier? Colts,
Falcons.
That's not bad. That's yeah. That looks like a fair trade. It looks like it might be, yeah, accepted on both sides. Yeah, is Falcons closer to us or no? Or further away?
Falcons is 15, I think.
Okay. So I'm good with this if you're good with this. We'll move back 4 spots. We'll still get one of those top 10s, you know what I mean? Because there's only
That's
3
cool.
teams in between us, and then we get a third rounder.
That's cool.
All right, cool. Ooh. Listen, Washington wants to give us their first at 29, their second at 61, and then next year's 7th rounder. I wouldn't be opposed to that, but it would be nice if we could get them to move off of that 7 and give them a 7 from this year. But you know what? We need to stay in the top 15 at least. Let's look and see what we got. Let's see what we got. We've got Armand Membu and Shador Sanders and McMillan, Will Johnson, Mikael Williams. This actually would be one where I wouldn't be mad at getting Will Johnson. I know that'd probably get a lot of people fired up though, getting a defensive back.
Oh, that'll drive me crazy if the Bears pick defensive back today.
That's like 3 years ago, right?
Yeah, that'll really. Oh,
but I'm just telling you, that's how much I love Will Johnson and the type of player that he is. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. No doubt.
Can we go look at the chat and see what they've got for us? Let's see what they. Ooh, Golden's available. That's insane. Yeah. All right, what do you guys think, chat? What do you got? Man, they've got a lot in here. What's up, Joel Sandler? No trade ups for Jeanty. It's all D nice all the time. I've seen some tame cougars. You guys have really got me shook. I don't know what the hell happened in the chat earlier. It's probably a good thing I don't know. I might get all fired up. Nobody's really saying for sure what they want in this first round, dude.
Yeah. I know Michael Williams is an interesting prospect out of University of Georgia, defensive line.
Okay.
You can work it. Well, with that, you can continue to work that trade situation, see if Pittsburgh want to move up and get Shador.
Oh, you know what? That is majestic, bro. Let's take a look. Okay, so Pittsburgh, you're saying trade. I do know they're interested. So we'll go pick 14. And now they don't have to give us as much because we fell back 4. They got 121 and 383. It looks like it's 50-50.
Whoa. Knocked off again, but that's all right. I'm still here holding it down. Tracks will be back shortly. We're gonna finish this mock draft. We're gonna get some people fired up with these picks we're about to make, boy. Yeah, I think we caught a raw deal trading back. But I think Michael Williams is there. I think that's a good pick for us. If not, let's trade back again. Somebody should be desperate for Shador. Yes, indeed. What you got, Trax?
I'm back.
Yeah. What you got?
I need to figure out what the heck is going on here with the internet, man. It's the whole basement thing going, I think. So right now what I've got is it's not letting me trade because we're not giving up enough.
Can't give him one of those 7-round picks.
I'm doing all of that, brother. I'm doing way too much right now. I'm doing way too much.
The hell with it. Give up a future second or third or something, man. That is.
Yeah, they're giving us up a third and a fourth. For our 114. Let's see if they'll do a fifth and a sixth. What is going on here? Did I click on something for next year? No, dude, I can't do this. Even though
what's that? The first round? Did we get their pick at 21 and get the rest of that?
Yeah, they're going to give us a third, a fourth, a fifth, and a sixth for our pick 14. I can't
including 21.
Yeah, I can't do that. There's something wrong with the system. It's a glitch. It's a glitch, bro. Let's see what happens when I press trade. It got accepted.
Yes, indeed. Let's see what we got down there.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
Who we got? What's the first one?
To pick from?
No, yeah, who we got to pick from?
Hold up. Let me see where the thing is that shows us. Yeah, we got all this, dude.
Gotta love that.
Because we 39, 41, 72, 80, 83, 123, 144, 156, 185, 233, 240. Oh my gosh. I feel like we just did something wrong here, man. I feel I need to go take a shower.
It's called fleece, man.
Dude, like I feel like I need to go to church, dude. This is bad. This is bad. Church available on Thursday somewhere, folks. So we got McMillan available at 11, Colston Loveland, Starks, Omarion Hampton, Walter Nolan, Derek Harmon, Josh Simmons, and Kenneth Grant. Listen, at 21, I would not be mad at my first pick being Kenneth Grant. I'm sorry, dude. You know how much I like that guy, but I'm listening to you and I'm listening to the chat.
Hey, Someone said Loveland, man.
Someone said Loveland.
Mm-hmm. Connor Bueller.
Connor Blueler. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, man. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. I need like another person. I need another person to go ahead and let us know if they're interested in what they want to take. Any GM trading up for a running back or defensive tackle in this draft will be unemployed by Monday. Huh. Man. Squeegee's tough on his takes, man. I don't even know if he likes coming in here. He just maybe he just craves to give us abuse.
He'll be all right.
Where are you at with all this?
The chat said Loveland.
Yeah.
At 21. I can't really see the names. Who is it? It's McMillan at 11. Nah.
So here we go. We got McMillan at 11, Will Johnson at 12, Loveland at 15, Malachi Starks at 21, Omarion Hampton at 22, Walter Nolan at 23, Derek Harmon at 24, Josh Simmons at 25, Kenneth Grant 26.
It's heavy down there, man. I like those names down there. I
Crazy.
like a few of them at the top too.
Yeah. Yep.
The chat says they won't love them, man. Let's see.
That's just one guy though. That's the
Yeah.
only person I've just seen one guy say that. I can't stand on that dude. I'm sorry. I can't. It's not that I can't stand that dude. I cannot stand on getting a tight end when we already have a potential first round tight end.
Understood. How you feel about if you want to go Grant, let's go Grant. Grant, Hampton, or Starks.
Grant, Hampton, or Starks. Yeah, let's go ahead and bring this to the chat. Grant, Hampton, or Starks, or Zabel. I'll even throw South Carolina's safety Nick Amwari.
Yo, yeah. He wasn't highlighted, but definitely Josh Simmons as well.
Cornerly at 35. I'm not mad at that.
Now, Josh Simmons could be interesting because as Braxton Jones finishes out his last year in Chicago, Simmons can be developing. He can also do some extra healing.
Right.
Coming off the bench. Like Simmons he's a grade A guy.
Right.
And he's from, the Ohio State University. So wouldn't be a bad pick neither.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I'm definitely
Worry though is a stud. Worry is a stud for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Hoping we can get some feedback from the chat right now because I'm very open right now.
Andrew Davis says no Hampton. I think it's a little early too, but he's right there. Walter Nolan is interesting as well.
Yeah, no, who's really big on Walter Nolan is Pat Kerwin from Moving the Chains on Sirius XM radio.
Yeah, I got a lot of respect for Pat Kerwin. He knows his stuff.
Well, he used to be a GM too, right? So
yeah.
So yeah, I look at that a lot more than a lot more than a lot of other things,
Yeah,
like the smartest guy in a chat room or the smartest podcaster. Like this dude was like a legit GM, So, no, I'm hearing no Hampton right now.
Yeah, I think it's a little early for him.
What's this guy talk? Squeegee in the crack pipe, man. Squeegee, come on, dude, chill out, dude. Good vibes, man.
Man, you gotta relax, man.
Dude, that's like the second time he's brought up a crack pipe. Let's see here. I like Walter Nolan. I like Kenneth Grant. I'm not if I'm being honest, I'm not mad at the defensive line. And Josh Simmons at offensive tackle. Really not mad at that either. Or even honestly,
the thing about Walter Nolan is what I like the most is that he's a penetrator. You know, guys like Kenneth Grant, you know, they're more of a guy that claws up, you know, the middle. But Nolan is an actual penetrator, like a Warren Sapp or Aaron Donald type, you know. But either way, man, Kenneth Grant is a nasty guy, man.
Yeah. Squeegee, let it go, man. Let's have some fun in the chat. I don't know who he's arguing with, but he's getting fired up. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta relax, man.
Oh, God, it's draft day, man. Come on. Just turn it off if it gets you that fired up. It's just a mock draft on a freaking computer. Well, you know what though? I'm looking. Walter. You know what? Let's get Walter. Wait, who's first? Is Walter Nolan above Kenneth? He is. All right, let's do Walter Nolan this time. Why not? All right, we got Walter Nolan's off the board. There we go. We made a decision.
Yeah, hey man, it's a difference between passion and being crazy.
Dude, I've seen some stuff on Chicago Bear Central and Chicago Bull Central where like people have dropped locations. They've dropped their lows over stuff with the whole what do you call it? Caleb Williams versus Justin Fields thing. Look at this. The Bears and the Cowboys, 239 for 241, 376, 6-2, 7-2 in the next year's 2026. My God, Cowboys, you're gonna give up your whole draft to us. I can't do this again. You know what? I would feel a lot better if we did this to the. But you know what though? Pittsburgh's got it coming. They fleeced us several trades. I'm glad we freaking stuck it to them for once. I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad no more, dude. I really don't. And the Cowboys, they got it coming too because they went out and gave us what's his name, that running back, Marion Barber. Like,
oh man, God rest his soul, man.
God, dude, Marion Barber was a beast with the Cowboys, and then he was like, you know, a turtle.
He was good with us for a second, man. I think the only thing I hold against him is when he didn't run out of bounds. I know when he did run out of bounds versus Denver.
Yeah. Yep. Dr. Earl says watching football should be fun. I agree, man. It should be fun for sure. For sure. If it's not, you're doing it wrong. And just go clock in at work and you can do all this craziness at work. Okay, so we're at 39. Kenneth Grant's still available. I wouldn't mind doubling down, but Donovan Ezeuruku is available, Boston College edge at 30.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need an edge, honestly. I really do. I really think we need an edge. I'm not mad at doubling down right now in terms of solidifying that defensive line. Landon Jackson is available at 51. I feel like we would grade out better. Unless you like Donovan from Boston College. Do you like him more than Landon Jackson?
Nah, I don't. But we don't have to reach for Jackson at 39, though.
Donovan Jackson is available at 38 for Ohio State interior offensive lineman. He's available right now at 38, and
we got enough picks. We can shoot at Donovan Jackson.
Yeah, let's look at tackle really quick before we pull the pin. Cornerly's available at 35.
And left tackle. Boom.
Cornerly or Ursery?
Let's go Cornerly.
All right, cool. Yeah, I like what you're doing, bro. You and I are getting out of our comfort zone. We're getting some guys we're not used to getting. We're like, you know what? Tracks don't really like this guy, but he went out and got Nolan. Bro, Kenneth Grant's still available. Make it make sense. Are you tempting me to press the button? I'm getting upset now. He was supposed to go at 26. It's 41, and he still slid to us. Who would be mad at getting Walter Nolan and Kenneth Grant in the same damn draft?
It'd be kind of hard. It'd be kind of hard to get upset at that.
Dude, this is
what else we got?
Emeka Egbuka from Ohio State, wide receiver. Donovan Jackson still available. Interior offensive line. I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at that, bro. Would not be mad at that.
Either one of those.
Ursery's available. We need interior offensive line for sure. We've already got defensive linemen. If anything, well, you know what though? Let's see. And you don't like this, Donovan. Maybe we get edge. If we go 41 right now, listen to me. Promise me if we go Donovan Jackson at 31, the next guy we go gets edge at 72, okay?
Yes, indeed.
Or we could pause it, trade up from 72 and get one of those picks earlier.
Yeah, we got enough capital in there to move up a little bit.
All right, okay, let's do this. Let's go get your guy, Donovan Jackson. I'll pause the draft and I'll make a trade offer. Here we go. Boom. Pause it. All right, we got Donovan Jackson. Okay. Colts are available at 45. Let's go ahead and try to trade with the Colts at 45. We'll go give them 72 and try 123 for 45.
Let's give them 80. What's that? What's under 72?
80. 80 and 123.
Let's give them 80 and that one under 123.
148.
And give them a future pick. Future second something.
For next year?
Yeah. All right. I mean, we don't have nothing to lose by trading away the future picks.
All right, hold up. Who is that? Colts, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And we want what? They still got their second available? What the hell? We want to trade into the fourth. I think the second would be too rich. Wait, hold up. What am I doing here? No. Okay. Yeah, we want their second. Shoot. I can't trade the Colts now. I done did it. Let's go Falcons at 46. Let's go Falcons at 46. All right, let's try this again, bro. Try this again. Help me out. Atlanta. We're going to go our fourth rounder for their second rounder.
And give them future second or future first, whatever. Future second. And give them something in the hundreds. 120, want something.
You know what? Let's forget all this trades. Let's just let it ride. We're good.
Yeah, let's let it ride. Let's go.
Let it ride. I'm pausing it. Here we go. We still got 72. We still got 80. We're getting crazy here. How's the chat going, man?
Squeegee keeping it popping.
Oh, my God.
The O-line room is a joke. It's not good. Anchor down. Pick 10 tackle. Pick 39 guard. You're not building a dynasty unless your O-line room is anchored. That's not true. But whatever.
They are giving us a whole lot. The Saints are giving us a 4-1, 6-1, 7-2, 7-2, and next year's second for a 3-7-2. This must be a really good time to get one of. Listen, you got Landon Jackson available at edge, Xavier Watts at safety. This is a crucial time to make some picks, man. We don't even have a running back yet. Caleb Williams is available, or Caleb Johnson. I say we get Caleb Johnson right now.
Go for it.
I think we need him. And then at 80, then we'll go ahead and address our edge. We're rejecting. We need to make some picks now. We're good. Saints or Steelers fed us for life. We got enough picks for next year. Jordan Birch. Okay, let's look at these edges. Let me know what you think, buddy. Jordan Birch, Josiah Stewart, Kyler Kennard, Ashton Gillett. Birch jumps out right off the screen at me right away, and I'm not mad at Josiah Stewart either. I know you said that he's a little undersized for our team. Why is there a Depends freaking advertisement up here? Come on. Come on, dude. Come on. What do you think about Jordan Birch, man?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know much about him.
Yep.
But I did hear that he was a technician as far as with his hands. As far as him is working as an edge. I heard he was a technician, but he played for Dan Landy, former Georgia defensive coordinator. So he has to have something there. What about the safeties?
Hold on. Sorry. Jacob just reached back out to me. Make sure this goes through. Okay. Safeties. Oh yeah, you got freaking Makuba. We got to get him. If we don't get him, we're not going to get a safety. Yeah. Let's get him. All right, done deal. Now we got another pick at 83 coming. So let's go all. And we're still looking at edge, right? Dude, honestly, I say
BPA, man.
Yeah, Josiah Stewart. Or Kyler Kennard. What's up with him in South Carolina? You got any measurables on that guy?
Nah, not at the moment, but South Carolina had a pretty good defensive line last year, but I'm still stuck on the last South Carolina pick we had.
They're showing him as a linebacker, but they're saying edge here. 23 years old.
Yeah, he may be good for 3-4.
6'5", 254.
Nice size.
From Georgia. Stats. He's from Georgia Tech and then transferred over to South Carolina. Dude's had a lot of total tackles, solos, assists, sacks. This year he had 11.5 this year, bro. Was this or no? Yeah, 11.5. It was his biggest year was this year. Coming in hot, bro. Coming in hot. I wouldn't be mad at a guy like him right here. But again, you got Josiah Stewart here.
6'5", 235, man.
Josiah Stewart?
Kennard.
Really? Yeah. That's not what I saw. I saw 250.
Really?
Yeah, I swear to God, bro. I'm looking right at the freaking ESPN.
6'5", 250. Ooh,
yeah.
that sounds so Leonard Floyd-ish.
Yeah. But I mean, you're looking at Josiah Stewart, and he's smaller, right?
Yeah.
Well, let's look it up. Let's look it up because apparently, but then it's okay for Mike Green to be his size. There's a lot of Bears fans that have wanted Mike Green.
Yeah. I think he might be, as far as a natural pass rusher,
6'1", 245 for Josiah Stewart. I think Kyler's got that bigger frame. However, I don't want to wait. I want to get an edge now. What about Savion Jones from LSU? LSU's usually got some good.
Yeah, LSU Savion, he's hot and cold, but he's a good player.
Yeah. What about this Jared Ivory from Mississippi?
Don't know much about him.
All right, so where are we at?
85.
Yeah, we're at 83, and we've got 79. Let's get Josiah Stewart, man. Let's get Josiah. We'll have him bulk up. All right, we got edge. That was an A+, by the way, bro. And just because we picked him at edge doesn't mean that he won't play linebacker for us, right?
Special teams or something.
Special teams. Come on.
He's an athlete. He's an athlete.
Yeah. Donovan Jackson was the only one that we got a B+ on. Everybody else is A+, and then Walter Nolan was an A. So we're doing pretty good in this draft, man. We're already up on deck again, man. Emory Jones, offensive tackle, is available. Damian Martinez, running back. RJ Harvey. I almost felt like we should have waited to RJ Harvey at 103. I've been seeing a lot of good stuff about RJ Harvey.
Martinez is a tough runner, man.
Martinez, yeah.
Dave Montgomery type.
We already got an offensive tackle and an interior offensive lineman. We got an edge, a defensive lineman. We got a running back, a safety.
What about wide out?
Wide receiver. Well, right off the rip, brother, we've got Gunnar Helm from Texas, tight end at 104. He's available at 123 right now. Are you interested in that tight end or no? You want to look at receiver first? Xavier Restrepo is available right now.
Okay.
Wouldn't be mad at getting him. That we actually picked him up after you left, and we got a really good letter of recommendation from Infante to go ahead and pull the trigger on him.
Yeah, Restrepo is cool.
You good with him? You want to get him?
Yeah, who's at the top right there? That's Gunnar Helm?
That's Restrepo. Underneath him is Arkansas Isaac Tesla.
You see Deontay Thornton?
Yeah, I do. 176. He's later. We can go get somebody else if you want to wait for him. I think we should get, here's the best available, Emory Jones at offensive tackle. We already got an offensive tackle in Cornerly. So it's either tight end, linebacker, or Quincy Riley from Louisville. Defensive back's available right now. Oh, I got an appointment at 1. I got a dip, man. Let's go ahead and finish this out. Yeah. Restrepo. Let's go Restrepo. A. We got an A with that guy.
Okay.
All right. Sorry about that, bro. Time slipped, man. I said I was going to do back to back. I didn't realize we were going to get 80 picks along with our original picks. My math ain't mathing, bro. Man, everybody wants to trade this one. Quincy Riley's available. Linebacker Chris Paul Jr., Mississippi. Edge Jared Ivey. Fairchild, Georgia, interior offensive lineman. I wouldn't be mad at that.
Can never have those.
Honestly, what's available suggested is linebacker, cornerback, quarterback, and Quinn Ewers. That's a suggestion. I don't know why. Smale Mondon Jr. from Georgia, linebacker, and then Barrett Carter, linebacker, Clemson. Those are the ones that are highlighted.
Barrett Carter.
Okay, done deal. Thanks for making it simple on that one. I need to get through this. I appreciate you helping me out too, by the way, man.
No problem, man.
Got some internet issues over here. Let's see here. Best available is Jared Ivey, Dylan Fairchild of Georgia. Fairchild's really making it hard to not get him, man.
Fairchild, man. Let's go for it.
He's really making it hard because I really like that guy.
Yeah,
that's a B+. I think they're not giving us that much love in that positions and the interior offensive line because we went out and got those trades, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what that's probably about, if I'm not mistaken. But it's still a B+. I mean, what the hell? Okay, so suggestion at edge at Savion Jones, and then tight end at Mitchell Evans, tight end. Let's go ahead and look at the tight ends and see who's available. Jackson Hawes, Mitchell Evans from Notre Dame, and then Jake Bring Your Stool from Clemson, and then Jalen Connors is there at 200 also. You're not feeling
go to all.
Trevor Etienne, running back from Georgia, is available. Oh my God.
Hey,
yeah,
we need one.
Let's get him. All right, we got him. All right, now, man, it's like a firing squad, right? I'm like, I got to get out of here. Yeah. What position? I'm still saying linebacker. I really feel like we need a linebacker, but
we got Barrett Carter, right? He's a linebacker.
Yeah, we did get Barrett Carter, and we also are looking at the potential aspect
of
is
King there.
What's that, bro?
Is King out of Penn State? Is he there, or is he picked already?
What position?
Linebacker. Kobe King.
He's gone.
He's gone already.
But we also are looking at Josiah Stewart as potential linebacker at times also.
Yeah. What's that at the top?
We got Cam Jackson, defensive lineman, Florida, Fadil Diggs, edge, Syracuse, Riley Leonard, quarterback, Q Robinson, edge, Jackson Hayes, tight end. I wouldn't be mad at Jackson Hayes right now, or Hawes, Georgia Tech tight end right here.
Yeah, Hayes, cool.
I feel like we need him and then possibly finish the draft out with Limpkin. You know? Oh, did we get our safety? Yeah, we got Makuba. What's your take on this pick, man?
The last one?
Yeah. Go and get Limpkin.
Yeah.
Limpkin. All right. There's our picks, man. We got defensive tackle and Nolan, cornerly tackle, Donovan Jackson, interior offensive line, Caleb Johnson, running back, Andrew Makuba, safety, Josiah Stewart, edge, Xavier Restrepo, receiver, Barrett Carter, linebacker, Dylan Fairchild, Georgia, Trevor Etienne, Georgia, Jackson Haas, Georgia Tech, and Willie Lampkin, interior offensive line. Man, I think this is one of our best yet, bro.
Hey, man, it definitely has a high value to it.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. Well, hey, thanks for helping out on the show, man. I appreciate you.
Thanks for having me, man.
What's
hey, shout out to the chat.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys. Great deal. Both the positive and the negative. But, let's try to keep things positive, man.
Yeah. Yeah, be a fountain, not a drain. What's your D Nice? What's your draft plans, brother? What do you got? You gonna keep it low key?
I'm gonna find somewhere to watch it, man. I think I'll be at home though, because the NBA is on tonight as well. So.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Hey, listen. Thank you guys, everyone, for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the show. Appreciate your view. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and Chi-Town up, bear down. Keep fighting with everything you got, like Mongo did, man. Love you guys. Bye.